Okay, everyone settle down. Thank you. I'm here to announce Owner's Box commitment to nut shaving technology. I'd like to thank everyone who recruited me, the old razor and the beard trimmer, but I'm going to be taking my talents to Manscaped for our nut cutting season. 20% off at manscaped.com with promo code BOX and free shipping worldwide. Once again, 20% off and free shipping worldwide with promo code BOX. Get it today.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Doing Football. Jared, the people have really been enjoying our draft strategy videos so far. So last one, draft strategy if you're picking in 9, 10, 11, or 12 overall. We'll cover the first 8 rounds for you. If you're new, I'm sure you're new, subscribe to the channel. Just hit that subscribe button. It's right there, down at the bottom right corner. Subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed. Jared, we're taking a new, I would say this is a fair bit different strategy than what we've taken with the first two videos.
Yeah, we usually say 2 running back or maybe running back tight end, but we're mixing it up a little bit here.
Yeah, we'd kind of gone through some mocks together.
Just worked
thinking
better.
We had an idea of what we'd like to do, but we found something that we think would be the most optimal. And I think we're pretty specific here in terms of targets and the overall layout. Before we get to the first round, let's talk a bit about the Owner's Box Superflex salary cap game. Be sure to check out our previous video. We built out a lineup, told you how to enter the 100K Week 1 contest for free. The promo code, Jared?
Drew 9.
Be sure to check it out. Be sure to get into the Week 1 contest. I mean, we're giving you free money, so come play. And of course, join the Discord. We've been real active in there lately and talked a lot about this strategy, and I know we're deep in draft season. So we're not deep in draft season, but we're about to be. I would say next week we will be. Round number 1, our favorite targets, guys we've talked about before.
We've talked about these guys a lot. Guys like Austin Eckler, Aaron Jones, absolutely love these guys. It's still always go running back in that first round. You just have to. You have to get that league-winning upside guy. And to us, we both love Eckler. Jones is somebody who we both think is going pretty undervalued, considering he's been a top 5 back each of the past 2 years. So the fact that he's going in the back end of the first, that's a great value on him. So we love those types of picks there. Yeah,
we've talked about both these guys in the last video and this one because we are higher on them than most. Yeah. So it's easy for you to be able to get these guys. Eckler and Jones, love them there. So let's move to round 2.
This is where we mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. So let's talk about the wide receivers and now the fact that we're actually giving this a look again at wide receiver in the second round.
Yeah, so there's a clear top 3 when it comes to these wide receivers. It's Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, and Stephon Diggs. So if one of these guys is still there in the second round, I think it's a great time to pick them. Sure, there's going to be some great running backs to take, but just the way the draft goes in the 3rd and 4th round, it just makes a lot of sense to grab this elite wide receiver at this spot here and just have a great running back duo with a great wide receiver.
Yeah, exactly. I did make a note here that if these 3 guys somehow aren't available when it comes back to you, even if you're in, let's say, the what would it be, the 104? Or
the 204?
Or the 204, right? If you were the 109. If one of these 3 isn't available, there is a chance that a high-end running back came back to you.
Somebody must have fallen.
So we're fine with going that, and then maybe the strategy changes a bit in round 3. But for sure, round 2, look to those 3 wide receivers when it comes back in that short turnaround. Of course, if Travis Kelce's there in the second round, we're fine with that. Yeah. But
you got to be willing to adjust.
Yeah, exactly. Based on how everybody's in your draft is approaching, because sometimes there can be some people in your draft that aren't too sure about how early they can hit tight end. So he might fall to you. Round 3, again, this is considering we've gone with an Austin Eckler or Aaron Jones in round 1, and then we went with one of these high-end wide receivers in round 2. Let's secure the running back position and secure our RB2. James Robinson. I realized when we recorded the previous video, we didn't actually have the full injury news on James Robinson. We just figured that ETN would be gone for maybe half this or most of the season.
Now we know he's done for the year.
So we've updated our rankings. Check out the Owner's Box blog if you want to see our full rankings. We updated everything this morning at every position. James Robinson is certainly he's sliding into my RB 19, I think is where I have him. So in this spot, I think we're good with taking a guy like James Robinson or David Montgomery Chris Carson.
Yeah, I love those guys there. Like Montgomery's going to have a workhorse role, and now James Robinson, he might not have quite as big of a role as he had last year, but last year was like 95% of the touches. So if he gets even 80% of the touches or 75% of the touches, he's going to have a great role in this offense and be a very solid running back too. So like he's one of the main reasons I'd say I'm good with doing the strategy. The fact that he's moved up in the rankings, just having that extra running back in that tier is enough that I'm willing to take a wide receiver in round 2 and wait till round 3 to get my running back too.
Yeah, so I completely agree there, because the one thing I want to temper expectations on for people is with James Robinson is, yes, was the RB8 last season, was the guy in that offense. We've got a new head coach who doesn't like James Robinson enough that he decided to take a running back in the first round. So let's not assume that this workload will be identical.
Yeah.
Carlos Hyde, I've said it before, good old
Urban
Ohio
Meyer
State
loves
boy
him.
with Urban Meyer. So I think Robinson has upside to be a top 10 running back. I think he, you could safely say he could be a top 15 running back. I'm not against that, but I like where we have him slotted around RB19.
Yeah. He's a
and where
secure
you can get
RB2
him
now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the workload's going to be there. Volume's going to be there. So we're good there in round 3. Now, short turnaround to you in round 4. We're going to get a stud wide receiver 2 who has all the upside to be a top 10 wide receiver, no doubt about it. CeeDee Lamb and Mike Evans really stick out. Mike Evans is a target hog in the red zone, someone that Tom Brady will look to. Often he's the big play, a lot of touchdowns to look for from him. CeeDee Lamb is someone that's really ascending up draft boards. We talked about him so much on the show. So we're good targeting those two guys there.
Yeah, I mean, Evans is most likely going to be the number 1 target in one of the best offenses in the league. So to get him in the 4th round, I like that. And then with Lamb, I mean, there's a chance he could take another step up this year and be the complete number 1 over Amari Cooper. Like, I've moved him over Cooper. I mean, I would even still be willing to take Cooper here sometimes. But just Lamb is ahead of him at this point, and like both him and Cooper have great upside with this incredible offense.
Yeah, quick note on Evans. This was in preparation of our most recent video for our Do Not Draft running backs. When I was looking into Najee Harris's stats and info, he was actually, with the Steelers, they ran so much in the inside the 5-yard line. I think it was 58% of all plays were pass plays inside the 5. The number 2 team in the NFL was the Bucs at a 60-something%. So that tells you that inside the 5-yard line, they're willing to throw that ball to Mike Evans. So Mike Evans is a great target.
I feel like there were so many games last year where he just had like a 1 or 2 yard touchdown reception.
Yeah, it was. That's exactly what it was. Back now to round 5. So two guys,
same every time.
2 guys we've talked about in round 5, like every video, and we talked about them as our undervalued wide receivers: Brandon Ayuk, Tyler Lockett.
We love them.
I saw a tweet. I can't remember who it was from. No, actually, I was listening to Mike to the Scores Fantasy Football podcast, and they talked about the schedule that the 49ers have in the playoffs in fantasy football, and it is sweet. I can't remember off the top of my head, but let me tell you, it's very nice. So the 49ers wide receivers, I shouldn't say wide receivers, just Ayuk here.
He's going to be the wide receiver 1.
Yeah, has a chance to have a big playoffs for you if you're in those semifinals and finals matchups. Lockett, to me, just a consistent amount of targets for you as your wide receiver 3. These guys are unbelievable. You're going to have a nice stacked group of wide receivers with this draft strategy.
But this is why you generally take running backs earlier, because you're not going to get a running back that has Ayuk or Lockett's value at this point in the draft.
Yeah.
So why not just take the running back a bit earlier and then settle for like a great wide receiver 3 in Ayuk or Lockett?
Yeah, agreed. Okay, round 6. This is the first time we've really talked about the quarterback position in terms of getting one inside of the first 6 rounds. Aaron Rodgers, I've seen pretty consistently you can find him in the 6th round in this spot. So I like going Aaron Rodgers with my 6th round pick here. And of course, if Dak Prescott, if people are a little timid about the Prescott news and him being ready for week 1, he is sliding a little bit. He might make it to you here. So those are 2 guys to look to. Aaron Rodgers, to me, is someone I think you'll have the chance to get all the time here in round 6.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like a locked and loaded QB1. He's going to have elite touchdown numbers, elite passing numbers. Like might as well just take him at this point if he's falling all the way to the 6th round. And like Prescott, the same thing. Like he's going to be throwing the ball all the time. So it's a great QB1 to get, and I'm willing to use a 6th-round pick on that.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers hates Green Bay Packers ownership and management.
But he still
doesn't
loves
hate
football.
his boys on the team. He still loves football, right? Is that what you're going to say?
He still loves football. We think. Maybe not as much as Jeopardy, though.
Yeah.
He might be a bigger Jeopardy
We
guy.
know he loves football more than he loves his family.
True.
Okay, these next couple of picks, round 7 and 8 to cap off, this is a very important piece of our strategy. So round 7, we really think that Damian Harris is a perfect guy to go to in the 7th round. Actually, I think I had this flipped because usually, no, this is a short turnaround. So it's, correct.
Yeah.
So Damian Harris we want to go to in round 7. Actually, it's Trey Sermon who we want to go to in round 7, and then
Damian
a
Harris
short turn in the 8.
Yeah.
Yes. So in round 7, Trey Sermon, plenty of upside there. We've always talked about him. You know the deal. This team runs the ball more than anyone else in the NFL. Trey Sermon is going to be the red zone and the goal line back to me for this offense. Like the profile for Raheem Mostert is not someone that can bulldoze his way into the end zone. So I like the upside with Sermon. And then anything on Sermon before we move to 8, really?
I mean, like he's just got that high upside potential. If Raheem Mostert's already dealing with injury, so if he just comes into the year as the immediate workhorse, then like the ceiling is incredibly high.
Immense ceiling. So then talk about round 8 and where we're going with Damian Harris.
I mean, Damian Harris is like the safest running back 3 pick there is, and now even Sony Michel's gone, so that makes it even better for him. Like, if Mac Jones is the starter, I like it even more. And it's looking like Mac Jones might be the starter, which isn't good for your team in a redraft league.
Mac Jones in training camp, what was that, on Wednesday? Just lighting the Twitter world on fire. That was ridiculous.
If that's the case, that means Damian Harris gets all the goal line carries too, because before Cam Newton was going to get those carries, but if he's not on the field, who's going to get them? Mac Jones isn't going to run the ball in himself.
Yeah.
Damian Harris has to get them. So like I'm loving Damian Harris even more there now, and I think we have to go with this running back duo of Harris and Sermon with this strategy, because we now get somebody like a Diggs, then like a Lamb, and then like an Ayuk or a Lockett. To get that trio of wide receivers, I want to build out my running back depth a little more since we're so locked in at wide receiver.
Yeah. These are the wide receivers are 3 guys you're rarely going to take out of your lineup. Like unless, with Lockett, you might, if you're still getting those inconsistencies, maybe one of these guys we grab for depth later slots in, or maybe, Ayuk's targets, they're really spread out between the offense and he's not getting the volume you like. So maybe there's someone in your depth that's got a really good matchup you might go to that week. But really these 3 guys are pretty well locked and loaded week in and week out at wide receiver. So we can grab Damian Harris and Trey Sermon because, hey, maybe you don't want to be all in on Trey Sermon as your, in your flex spot in week 1. I mean, I probably would be the Detroit Lions in week 1, but maybe early on you don't see the opportunity we thought we were going to see. So you throw in Damian Harris to start the season. Round 9, we'll quickly touch on some of the later rounds. This is where I look for tight end. Higbee is just picking. I'm very worried. I love Tyler Higbee. I'm very worried this is going to really pick up steam here in these next few weeks, and he might be a tough. He might be a tough guy to get in round 9. Like before, I could easily grab him in round 10, no problem. Now I'm worried that he might make it into round 8 by the time it's week 1. But I would target Tunyon and Higbee.
Yeah, Tunyon's one that I've started to get really high on too. Like, he's just going to have so much touchdown potential with Rodgers, so why not take him all the way back in the 10th round? Like, he was tight end 3 or 4 last year?
Yeah, he was tight end 3.
So why not take him?
I think it was standard he was tight end 3, but PPR I think he was 4.
I like Irv Smith too, but Tmack doesn't like him as much. Just like any tight end at that point, like might as well take him that you like because it's so late in the draft anyway.
Yeah, so like if we're missing on these guys, which I think in round 9 you can grab either one, but maybe you're watching this video and I'm bang on with Higbee and he's moved up way too far. Yeah, we grab Irv Smith and maybe someone like Jonnu Smith or someone a little safer.
Just don't take any tight ends in that round 6 or 7 range.
Yeah, we've definitely been through that with people. They know that.
If you watch we say that like every video.
And then again, like we said, we talked about building out depth. And upside at wide receiver in the later rounds. We locked up 4 solid running backs here in this strategy. So,
grab like an Elijah Moore. I loved Terrace Marshall at the end of the draft. Jacoby Myers is somebody who, especially if Mac Jones is the starter, I'm starting to love a lot more.
Yeah.
There's so much high upside at wide receiver at the end of the draft. So just build that out.
We'll have a deep sleeper episode soon, and I definitely think the Patriots are going to be on there.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, and James White is someone I'm If you watched practice,
First time I'm
or
hearing this.
If you read about practice on Wednesday with Mac Jones, James White was just like, I think he had 8-9 targets in that work at least. So he's interesting. Anyways, comment down below. Comment down below with your draft. Show us your roster. Show us how you followed the strategy. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like. Of course, subscribe to the channel. And check out our week 1 salary cap game on Owners Box. Promo code DREW9. That's all down in the description, so definitely check it out. And we will see you guys next time.